Today's Thursday, 17th of August 2023, and well, this is about our third or fourth video, I don't know, in London. We're going to leave the river behind us now, and we're just going to head over to the other side. So we've been on the south side, so I guess we're going to the north side, and we're going to leave that river behind. That's an Uber boat, whatever an Uber boat is, I don't know, a bit like an Uber taxi, I suppose. Over the other side, then we've got Tower Bridge over there and HMS Belfast. We're actually walking across London Bridge, not the original London Bridge, but a London Bridge. Serve to get us to the other side, and you can see the water is really high now. It was high before, but it's very high now. Shaped building there that's sort of wider at the top than it is at the bottom, and it's sort of got a concave shape. Caused a few problems when it was first built. Well, at least I hope it's not an urban myth. The sun was reflecting on it, and it was melting the dashboards in cars parked below. Always a problem if you start putting curves into glass. We're going to head off in that sort of direction because there's a monument over there that I'd like to have a look at. Anissa's taken the cardigan off, so it must be getting warm. No parasol today. This is the next place on our itinerary, and it's Pudding Lane. It doesn't look very much, does it? In fact, it's just a back street of London. It doesn't seem to be very significant at all, but historically, well, it is, and I'm guessing a lot of you know the significance of Pudding Lane. And I do believe that if we walk up here a little way, we'll find a plaque that tells us a little bit about that history. I don't know if it's ringing in my ears, but I can hear bells. So here's a plaque just coming up in front of us. And it says here, near this site stood the shop belonging to Thomas Farina, the King's baker, in which the Great Fire of September 1666 began. So this is where the Great Fire of London started in 1666. This plaque was presented by the Worshipful Company of Bakers to mark the 500th anniversary of their charter, which was granted by Henry VII in 1486. So this street, a little bit of London history. And to commemorate that little bit of London history, is this monument. We've got a market here today. This monument, you can go up it. There's a lot of steps. I don't think there's a lift, but you can go up there, pay your money, go to the top. It was designed by Sir Christopher Wren, and it's here to commemorate the Great Fire of London and the fact that London survived. And the seats over here have actually got the London's burning, London's burning. Fetch the engines, fire, 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 fire. Pour on water, pour on water. Did you know that song? London's burning, London's burning. Fire, fire, fetch the engines. Oh, I don't know it either. A bit of a market here, but here's the queue to go up the monument. I don't think we're going to do that today. And Anita has a previous for going up monuments like this where she gets a little bit dizzy, although she did manage Spinnaker Tower. It is actually much taller than I thought. So this was built by a very famous architect named Christopher Wren. He designed it to commemorate the Great Fire of London. And these people are going to go up all the steps, all inside there. There's a big winding staircase to take you all the way to the top. It's a bit like Spinnaker Tower, isn't it? Only much, 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 much older.
If you look up, you can even see...
Just to correct me, the monument actually was designed by Robert Hooke, a very famous scientist, in consultation with Sir Christopher Wren. Built in 1671 to 1677 on the site of St Margaret's Fish Street Hill to commemorate the Great Fire of London of 1666. The fire burnt from 2nd of September to the 5th of September, devastating 2/3 of the city and destroyed 13,200 houses, 87 churches and 52 livery company halls. Wow. I think we actually walked in somewhat of a roundabout way, but we eventually have managed to get to St Paul's Cathedral. And we won't be going in St Paul's Cathedral on this occasion, maybe on a future visit to London. It's a magnificent building that I would like to go in. And I don't think I've ever actually been in St Paul's Cathedral, so it's time to do that. Sorry?
Close to 5. Yeah, close to that. Close to 5. Close to half an hour to walk. Shall we just walk?
Temperature has gone up a little bit now and we're out of the breeze, so it does start to feel quite warm.
I would love a coffee. Yes, good luck. I would love a coffee.
Just walk around this way and we'll be able to see the entrance to the cathedral. Magnificent building with the Corinthian columns supporting and then we come to Ludgate Hill. We're getting a little bit back on track. Fortunately, we're going to be walking down Ludgate Hill. There's another Wagamama's. McDonald's. Just about halfway down Ludgate Hill, I noticed the Wren Church of St Martin within Ludgate, across the road there. So we just got to the bottom of Ludgate Street and we're now entering Fleet Street, famous of course for its newspapers. It used to be the centre of newspaper publications in the UK. I guess it's lost some of its charm in recent years. We're in Fleet Street now, dear. Some of the pubs in here are quite famous. Places where the old reporters used to go. All their stories, I would imagine.
I mean, I would like to do a job, like I think I want to
There's St Bride's Church. Construction going on. Right, let's come out of a tunnel, a long tunnel, where they're doing the building work. And this is on this side from 1844 to 1846 was situated the London offices of the Anti-Corn Law League, with which John Bright and Richard Cobden were closely associated. And here's the Tipperary, London's original Irish pub, so they say. Doesn't look very open though. All of that looks pretty derelict. How do buildings like that in the middle of London become derelict? In Fleet Street. The road, you can see Sunday Post, People's Friend, People's Journal and the Dundee Courier. I certainly remember my mother, I think, having the People's Friend. And the beautiful chapel next to it. This is the site of the Mitre Tavern, number 37 Fleet Street, 1672. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just after. We've done about 4 hours, 5 hours now of walking.
My daughter's been learning about...
Hello! I can see you. That's Sargy, that's one friend has. Why did you need a drink?
We're very close to the law courts now, so you might want a suit. You might even want a wig and gown. £700. The Old Cock Tavern. And one of the few black and white buildings that you see in London. Not many of those. Just across the road there is Chancery Lane. This way to the Temple Church. I was interested in the Temple Church because it has Masonic connections. Pardon?
Are we still on the right path to Nelson's Column?
Yep.
So it's still...
Yeah, we're heading in that direction.
Would we normally go across if this building wasn't here?
Yeah. We're just going to have a look at this very old church.
We're not going in it though.
I might. If none all lets me, we'll see.
Because I really want to get there quick. Is this quite dangerous for a London? Feet can get stuck in spiders can all bite it all over.
So the interesting thing about the Temple Church is that it dates back to the Knights Templars. So
I might get a lot of money.
nearly 1,000 years of history.
That's 6 minutes for running.
Will I get a lot of money?
And the other interesting thing is the churches themselves that were built by the Templars are round.
We'll just sit here then and wait, alright?
I was just leaving Fleet Street and just coming into the Strand. And there's the Temple Bar statue of Queen Victoria. These magnificent buildings we've just been looking at are the Royal Courts of Justice.
Silver shiny metal looks so badass on any single person. Alright.
Another black and white building. You didn't see many, you've probably seen both of them.
Come on, you can make a tower obvious. Oh, okay. Whoa. Shit.
of Westminster. It's getting quite warm now. Yep. Going to carry on up the Strand. Well done, it's the Australian house. The Australian flag. Usually see much green in the street area, but here we do.
And I'm like, yeah, cool.
It's very nice to see. This is King's College London. It's one of the top universities in the country. And this is their Strand building. Oh, and it's the Royal Society of Chemistry.
Is it now?
St Mary Le Strand, and they got the Four Seasons on there.
Where are we going?
Trafalgar Square.
Number 11.
Somerset House. Used to be where all the births, marriages and deaths were recorded. Probably still are. I guess they're all on a Google Cloud somewhere now. And we're continuing along the Strand now. We've got the Strand Palace Hotel across the road there. And we've just been past, we're in sort of theatre land as well around here. So we've just been past the Lyceum Theatre, which has the Lion King. Bright sunshine now. Next up in front called Hats and Caps.
Yeah.
where you can buy hats and caps. How surprising is that? Just down this little alleyway, this is Savoy Court. This is the Savoy Hotel. Which I believe still do an Arnold Bennett omelette. Arnold Bennett being the author that came from Stoke-on-Trent and wrote about the Five Towns. Well, I can now see Nelson atop his column. The coal hole in the Strand. If you now look straight ahead, you should see that man we've been looking for
As Nelson.
on top of his column. Yeah. Vaudeville Theatre across the road. 6. Back to the Future.
Now do we have to walk all the way back?
If you had one, you would have to
Darling.
Excuse me.
Not ever say that to me again.
Leons and Zizis, we've seen a lot of them, and Cafe Nero's. It's Adam Street again. Back to the Future's on at the Adelphi.
Eyes wide open. And your tongue's sticking out. Spray my face down.
This car there, getting a bit excited. Just doing a quick U-turn. Oh, it's an ambulance, it's not the police. It's an ambulance, not the police. Well, this is a place that's been in the news a lot just recently. Coots Bank. Apparently you have to have 3 million quid to have an account there. It moves me out. That's Charing Cross station across the road.
Okay.
Well, here we are, where we intended to be. One of our last places on the list. This is Trafalgar Square, and here particularly because William wanted to see Nelson's column. There we've got the National Gallery, which we won't have time to go to today. It's another place you need a full day, I think, to do a place like that justice. Certainly half a day. So we'll have to have a little rest while we're in Trafalgar Square, and then we'll head off somewhere else after that. There's the column and the fountains, which are dry at the moment. People looking to sit in the shade. We've actually come into the square now, and where the fountains are. Used to be very popular on New Year's Eve. People would get in the water there, splash around. We've had an amazing, exhausting day here in London. I think we're all absolutely shattered. We're finishing off in Trafalgar Square, but we've still got a bit of a distance to go because we've got to go down to Waterloo, and we're probably going to find somewhere for a little refreshment on the way. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye. So a little postscript to do the video. As we just walk past Downing Street. Don't think anybody's at home, but there's a lot of police present as always. I think our Prime Minister's on his holidays. And the postscript, this is the war memorial where the wreaths are laid. This is the cenotaph.